So what is the gender criticism theory? Gender criticism examines how gender influences the way literature is written and understood. Gender criticism branched off of feminist literary criticism to focus on the makeup of sexuality and gender rather than focusing on just females. Through gender criticism, the differences between males and females and how they write and read are seen as a benefit rather than a flaw. Some gender critics examine literary pieces by the two genders through their language use and how the characters are depicted to determine what makes a literary piece a female or a male. Other gender critics analyze the effect of a male-dominant society on literature. The Night Before. What are the roles of the female characters in Frankenstein? What is the importance of the character Elizabeth? Why? I just wish Shelley was here to answer all my questions. Uh-oh, I'm starting to feel a little queasy. Huh? Where am I? Welcome, I am Mary Shelley. You mean you're the Mary Shelley? I am indeed. You asked for me? I have been saved! I can't believe this. Please help me on my paper. I'm writing a paper on your novel Frankenstein. And it would be really great if you can help me. It would be a pleasure to help. In the novel, all of the female characters are passive and submissive. That's correct. What was the purpose in doing so? I wanted to show that the portrayal of the female characters in the novel were a representation of what society expected women to be, which is to be passive and submissive. However, each female character in the novel were created so they had an essential part in the development of the male figures, which goes to show that women serve roles that are equally important as those of the males. Essentially, Frankenstein can be used to critique society's views on gender roles. I wanted to convey the idea that the two genders are equal, that women can do what men can do and vice versa. Gender should not define role. There shouldn't be any double standards when it comes to judging someone's actions or anything else. How is the role of females essential to the males? Justine, Sapphy, Margaret, and more importantly, Elizabeth and Caroline all had important parts in the novel. Let's begin with Margaret, Walton's sister. Walton writes an abundance of letters to his sister to update her on his journey to the Arctic. However, Walton finds Margaret to be an unacceptable audience and wants to find a male companion who can, unlike Margaret a female, allude to him and be easy to communicate with. I have no friend, Margaret. I desire the company of a man who could sympathize with me. I have no one near me, gentle yet courageous, possessed of a cultivated as well as a capacious mind whose tastes are like my own, to approve or amend my plans. Even though Walton is writing to his sister, he doesn't think that she is able to understand him as a man would. Hey, I can think perfectly fine. This is what society thought of women during my time. It is believed that women were incapable of thinking like men. It is important to realize that Walton continued to write to his sister even though he found her to be an incompetent listener. He viewed Margaret as a source of comfort as he embarked on his journey with men who he thought were vulgar and lacked emotion. He needed a female who he knew would listen to him. The female figure in his life served to keep him sane so that he would not end up like the rest of his crew.
Created using Powtoon.